Welcome to Building Better Communication Skills for IELTS. Lucy, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm excited to delve into this topic today. It's one that's close to my heart, helping people communicate more effectively, especially for important tests like the IELTS.
Absolutely. And, we have a listener who's on that IELTS journey right now. So before we start unpacking all of this great information, let me just remind everyone to like and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to check out the resources we've linked in the description. They're specifically chosen to help you on your IELTS journey. Now grab coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive right in.
It's fascinating how a single photo can trigger so many memories and emotions, isn't it? And in the IELTS speaking exam, you might be asked to do just that. Describe a photo you've taken and the story behind it.
That's right. Imagine yourself in the exam room. You're facing task 2, and the examiner asks you to describe a selfie or a photo you took. You should say when you took the photo, where you were, what you were doing, and explain why you took the photo and how you felt about it. Sounds a bit nerve-wracking, right? But don't worry, we're going to break it down and make it feel a lot less daunting.
Exactly. It's all about understanding what the examiners are looking for and then practicing those skills. One of the key things they assess is your vocabulary. Can you use a range of words to describe the photo and your feelings?
That's where our deep dive comes in. We're going to look at some sample answers and then break down some key vocabulary words and phrases that you can use to really impress the examiners.
Let's start with a sample answer that uses simple, clear language, just like the instructions recommend.
Okay, great. So let me put on my examiner hat and ask you the task 2 question. Describe a selfie or a photo you took. You should say when you took the photo, where you were, what you were doing, and explain why you took the photo and how you felt about it.
Okay, here's my answer. Well, I took this photo last summer when I went on a trip to Da Nang with my friends. It was during the evening, just after we had finished dinner at a local seafood restaurant. We were walking along the beach, and the sunset was really beautiful. So I decided to take a selfie with my friends to capture the moment. I was standing near the water, and my friends were behind me. We all smiled and made funny faces. The waves were coming in, and the sky had an orange and pink color. It looked really nice in the picture. I took this photo because I wanted to remember the good time I had with my friends. We don't always have time to travel together, so this was a special moment for me. After I took the selfie, I sent it to our group chat, and everyone liked it. I felt really happy when I looked at the photo because it reminded me of how much fun we had. Even now, when I see it, I feel nostalgic and want to go back to that time.
That was a really clear and engaging answer. I felt like I was right there on the beach with you. Now let's take a closer look at some of the key vocabulary you used.
Absolutely. The first phrase that stands out is capture the moment. This means to take a photo to remember a special time. For example, you could say, I took a picture of the sunset to capture the moment.
It's a simple phrase, but it's so effective in conveying the emotional significance of the photo.
Exactly. Next, we have make funny faces, which simply means to change your face in a silly way for fun. Like, we made funny faces in the selfie to make it more fun.
That's something we can all relate to. I think most of us have at least one selfie where we're making a silly face. What's the next phrase on our list?
We then have the waves were coming in, which means the water was moving towards the shore. A simple example would be, the waves were coming in, making a relaxing sound.
I like how that phrase adds a sensory element to the description.
Yeah.
It's not just about what you see in the photo, but also what you hear.
Precisely. And then we used looked really nice, which simply means appeared beautiful. You could use it in a sentence like, the sky looked really nice with pink and orange colors.
It's a straightforward phrase, but it gets the point across effectively.
Next up is a special moment, which describes a time that is important or meaningful. For instance, graduation was a special moment in my life.
It's a great way to highlight the personal significance of the photo you're describing. What's next?
Then we have sent it to our group chat, meaning you shared a photo with friends in a messaging app. Like, after taking the selfie, I sent it to our group chat.
That's something most people do these days. Sharing photos with friends and family is a big part of our social lives. What's the next phrase?
We then used reminded me of, meaning it made you remember something. For example, this song reminded me of my childhood.
Music has a powerful way of triggering memories, doesn't it? It can transport you back to a specific time and place.
Absolutely. Then we have feel nostalgic, which means to miss the past and want to go back. You could say, looking at old photos makes me feel nostalgic.
I think we all experience that feeling of nostalgia from time to time. What about the last 2 phrases?
Second to last is went on a trip, meaning you traveled somewhere for a short time. For example, last summer I went on a trip to Da Nang.
Sounds like a fantastic trip. And finally,
Finally, we have smiled, which simply means to make a happy facial expression. A simple example, she smiled when she saw the surprise gift.
those are all great examples of how you can use simple and clear language to describe a photo effectively. I think it's important to remember that you don't need to use overly complicated vocabulary to do well on the IELTS.
I completely agree. Clarity and fluency are just as important as vocabulary range.
Now, before we move on to another sample answer, I want to encourage our listener to practice using these keywords and phrases when describing their own photos. Imagine you're in the exam room, and the examiner has just asked you the same question. How would you answer? Take a moment to think about it, jot down some notes, and then we'll explore another approach to this Task 2 question.
Taking a moment to reflect and practice is a fantastic idea. And it's not just about using simple language. The beauty of the IELTS speaking exam is that you have the opportunity to showcase your vocabulary range. Let's look at another sample answer this time with a focus on slightly more sophisticated language choices.
I'm ready to be impressed. Let's hear it.
All right, imagine the examiner asks you the same question again. Describe a selfie or a photo you took. You should say when you took the photo, where you were, what you were doing, and explain why you took the photo and how you felt about it. This time I'll answer like this. Well, one of my favorite photos is a selfie I took last summer during a short vacation in Da Nang with my closest friends. It was a warm evening after we had finished a delicious seafood dinner at a cozy beachfront restaurant. As we strolled along my key beach, we noticed the stunning sunset casting shades of orange, pink, and purple across the sky. The view was simply breathtaking, so I instinctively pulled out my phone and captured the moment in a selfie. In the photo, I'm standing in the foreground with a big smile while my friends are behind me making silly faces. The gentle waves are rolling onto the shore, and the golden light reflects beautifully on the water. It was one of those spontaneous moments that felt so pure and joyful. I took this selfie because I wanted to freeze that memory in time. We all lead busy lives, and it's rare for us to take a break together, so this trip was very meaningful to me. The picture serves as a reminder of our strong friendship and the carefree, happy moments we shared. After taking the photo, I immediately sent it to our group chat, and everyone loved it. Some of my friends even posted it on social media saying how much they missed the trip. Every time I look at that selfie, I feel a wave of nostalgia. It brings back the laughter, the sea breeze, and the warmth of the setting sun. It's a small but a powerful reminder of how precious time with friends truly is.
That's a beautiful answer. You really painted a vivid picture with your words, and I love how you incorporated those more descriptive phrases. It definitely adds another layer to the storytelling. What are some of the key vocabulary words you used this time?
Well, right off the bat, I used stunning sunset, which simply means a very beautiful sunset. For example, you could say, we watched a stunning sunset by the beach. Notice how this is a more vivid description compared to just saying beautiful sunset.
It definitely adds a stronger visual impact. What's next?
Next, I use the word breathtaking, which means extremely beautiful. You could use it in a sentence like, the view from the mountain was breathtaking. It conveys a sense of awe and wonder, which can be very effective in your IELTS answer.
I'm starting to see how choosing the right words can really elevate your response. What else did you use?
Then there's instinctively, which means without thinking, naturally. For instance, you might say, when I saw the cat, I instinctively reached out to pet it. This word helps demonstrate fluency by connecting your actions to your feelings in a natural way.
That's a great point. It's not just about knowing individual words, but also understanding how to use them to create a smooth and coherent response.
Exactly. And that brings us to spontaneous moment, which describes an unplanned and natural event. For example, we had a spontaneous moment of laughter during dinner. These kinds of phrases add a personal touch to your answer and help the examiner connect with your story.
It definitely makes the experience feel more authentic. What other gems do we have on our list?
Next, we have freeze that memory in time, which is a more evocative way of saying, save a special moment so it won't be forgotten. You might say, taking pictures helps freeze memories in time. This phrase not only showcases your vocabulary, but also allows you to reflect on the power of photography in preserving memories.
That's beautiful imagery. It really speaks to the emotional significance of the photo. What's next?
Then we have carefree, which means without worries or stress. It's a great word to use when describing happy and relaxed moments. For example, the summer holiday was full of carefree days.
That's a feeling we all cherish. Those moments of pure joy and freedom.
Absolutely. And remember, even subtle shifts in your vocabulary can make a big difference. Instead of simply saying, it helps me remember, you can use the phrase serves as a reminder, meaning it helps you remember something. You could say, this bracelet serves as a reminder of my best friend.
I like that. It adds a touch of formality and sophistication to your language.
Then we have golden light, meaning the warm yellow light from the sun, as in, the golden light made the city look magical. This kind of descriptive language helps the listener visualize the scene more clearly.
It paints a much richer picture than just saying the light was nice, doesn't it?
Exactly. And then we have a wave of nostalgia, meaning a strong feeling of missing the past. It's a great phrase to use when describing how a photo makes you feel. You might say, seeing my childhood home gave me a wave of nostalgia.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well. It's bittersweet, isn't it? A mix of happy memories and longing for the past.
And finally, we have precious time, which simply means valuable and meaningful time. You might say, I always enjoy spending precious time with my family. Using phrases like this demonstrates your ability to express deeper emotions and connect with the listener on a personal level.
That was a fantastic breakdown of vocabulary. I think it's clear that choosing the right words can really elevate your answer and make it more engaging for the examiner.
Absolutely. And the IELTS speaking exam is not just about vocabulary. It's about combining all the elements we've discussed. Fluency, coherence, pronunciation, and grammar to demonstrate your overall communication skills.
I think it's time for our listener to put all this into practice. Remember that Task 2 question. Describe a selfie or a photo you took. You should say when you took the photo, where you were, what you were doing, and explain why you took the photo and how you felt about it. Think about your own photo and how you would answer. Don't be afraid to experiment with the vocabulary we've discussed and see what works best for you. And if you're feeling brave, share your answer in the forum linked in the description.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It's about the whole package. And practicing and getting feedback from others is such a valuable part of the learning process. It's like having a dress rehearsal before the big show.
Absolutely. And remember, the forum is a safe and supportive space to share your ideas and learn from each other. Now, before we wrap up this deep dive, let's recap some of the key takeaways for acing your IELTS speaking Task 2. First and foremost, use descriptive language to paint a vivid picture for the listener.
And don't be afraid to incorporate a variety of vocabulary. We've given you some great examples today, but there are so many other words and phrases you can use to enrich your descriptions.
That's right. Use those resources we mentioned earlier to expand your vocabulary toolbox. And of course, practice speaking clearly and confidently. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it.
And most importantly, have fun with it. Describing photos is a great way to share your experiences, connect with others, and express your creativity.
Exactly. It's about sharing a little piece of yourself with the world.
And on that note, I'd like to leave our listener with one final thought. Think about how the act of taking photos helps us freeze memories in time. It's like capturing a fleeting moment and preserving it forever. What stories do your photos tell? What emotions do they evoke? How do they connect you to the past and shape your present? I encourage you to reflect on the power of visual storytelling and the personal connection we have with the images we capture.
That's a beautiful and thought-provoking question to end on. It reminds us that photos are more than just pixels on a screen. They're windows into our lives, our memories, and our emotions.
And they're a powerful tool for communication, which is what the IELTS is all about.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into building better communication skills for the IELTS. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring. Until next time, keep practicing, keep learning, and keep capturing those precious moments.